Hello everyone, Hans here. So now we know building BMARS is the right thing to do. We need to hire more people to help out with our missions. We grow in number of teams, organizations, and AWS accounts. Let's say we have 2 AWS accounts, one for storing our data in S3 called Data Account, and one for developer to build applications called Dev Account. You can delegate access across AWS accounts using IAM roles. Let's take a look at how to do it. Hey folks, let's say you have multiple IT engineers that are tasked to manage AWS account and resources. As an IT manager, you will need to grant AWS admin access for your engineers. This tutorial will show you how to create an IAM group for admin users and assign that IAM user to the group. Let's get started. From the AWS Management Console, you can search for IAM service in the search box. Click on IAM and you will be prompted to IAM console. Let's create an IAM group. On the left side, click on Groups, Create New Group. I will name it as Admin Group. Click on Next Step. Now is the time that we choose an IAM policy to associate to our new group. In this case, because we're creating an IAM group for admin user, I will search for Administrator Access IAM policy. Click on the policy. Next step, we will review the name of the group and the policy. Then we will create the group. Now, this is the new group that you created, admin group. And if you click on it, you will see the name, the ARN of the group. And also, you can see the administrator access policy attached to the group. So now's the fun part. Let's create an IAM user and associate to this group. On the left column, click on Users, Add User, and create a name for your admin user. In this case, I would do admin IT and my name on it. You can choose to allow programmatic access, which means access to API, CLI, or AWS SDK. You can also choose to allow management console access, which means the user can log in into AWS Management Console. And you can choose the auto-generated password or to create a custom password for your user. You can also ask your user to reset password when the first time they log in. Next, let's associate the permission. So there's 3 options for you to create permission for a user. The first option is to add user to an IAM group. The second one is to copy permission from existing user. And the last option is to attach existing policy directly to that user. Now, in this demo, I'm going to choose adding a user to a group. And when you do that, you see the list of groups available. Then I'll click on Admin Group, which is the new group that we created earlier. Next, we're going to do tagging for this IAM user. So tagging is one of the best practices to help you managing resource in AWS account. In this case, I'm going to use the key for tag is department, and the value would be IT because this IAM resource belongs to IT department. When we reviewed, we can see that the username, we can see what type of access the user allowed, and we can also see what group the user belongs to. Now let's create the user. So after you created the user successfully, the console will show you the username, the access key ID, the secret access key, and the password. So you have to download the resource because it will not be available later on the console. You can choose to download by clicking on the download.csv button, or you can choose to send an email with log instruction. So, if we go to our IAM group, we will see that right now on our admin group, there's a newly created user, admin IT Hong. Awesome. So now we're done with the demo. You can follow these tutorials for step-by-step instructions in the resources sessions for the week. But now we need to create and manage more and more AWS accounts. It comes with a new problem. How do we scale and automate AWS account creations? How do we make sure that each team or organization has the appropriate permissions to use the right AWS services and resources? We certainly don't want developer Bs to have permission to see the billing and control budgeting. We also want to make sure our sheriff Bs have access to audit AWS activities to detect and isolate if AWS resource and accounts are compromised. Adding to that, we want all the bills in multiple AWS accounts to be rolled up to one central AWS account so that the Queen Bee can pay for all of AWS cost. Here come AWS Organizations. This AWS service can help you centrally govern your environment as we grow and scale. Using AWS Organizations, you can automate account creation and management, create group of accounts to reflect business need, govern access to AWS services resource in regions by policy, set up single payment method for all AWS accounts with consolidate billing. You can share resources across accounts. AWS Organization make it easy for you to share critical central resources across your accounts. For example, you can share your central AWS directory service running on Managed Active Directory with all accounts in your organization for application to access your central identity store. Additionally, you can ensure application resources across your account are created on your AWS Virtual Private Cloud subnet by centrally defining them once and sharing them across your organization using AWS Resource Access Manager. You can find a list of supported services in the resource section of the course. So how does AWS Organization work? First, you will choose an AWS account as the master account. Now, you create an organization in this master account. Note that when you use organization to create a new account, an IAM roles will be created so that master account can switch role to access your member account. Then you can either create organizations unit called OU or accounts called member accounts under organization. Then you can create service control policy to OU or to the member account. There is a few best practices to note as you're creating a new organization. The first one is plan ahead for the structure of your organization. The second best practice is, for the master account, we recommend that you keep the master account free of any operational AWS resource. In addition to making it easier for you to make high-quality control decisions, this practice will make it easier for you to understand the charge on your AWS bill. The next best practice is to use CloudTrail. Using AWS CloudTrail in the master account to centrally track all AWS usage in the member accounts. Next thing is to apply least privilege practice. When setting up policy for your OUs, assign as few privileges as possible. And for organizational unit, assign policy to organizational units rather than to accounts. This will allow you to maintain a better mapping between your organizational structure and the level of AWS access needed. Well, you need to perform testing, right? You test new and modified policies
on a single account before scaling up to organization unit. Automations use the API and AWS CloudFormation template to ensure that every newly created account is configured to your liking. The template can create IAM user, roles, and policy. It can also set up logging, create and configure VPC, and so forth. So that's it for managing multi-account and provisioning cross-account access. See you in an upcoming video.